Вистинското мајсторство е владењето на сопствениот ум, ке каже Моханџи, кој тврди дека духовноста се изразува во свеста со која живееме и го доживуваме нашиот секојдневен живот. Тој го застапува патот на беспатието, каде што спонтанноста и проточноста се што постои, да бидете целосно свој. Ослободувањето е камен темелник на учењата на Моханџи, каде тој ни укажува каде да гледаме, но не и што да видиме. Самиот практично го покажува тоа со тоа што води живот ослободен од врзувањата и условувањата на умот, сосема природен. Денес премиерно во утринска на Телма. Несекојдневна прилика да го имаме Моханџи и неговата сопруга Деви Мохан, која е инаку глобален амбасадор на Моханџи фондацијата, во нашето студио, со ексклузивно интервју кое го дадоа за време на нивниот кус престој во Скопје и во Македонија.
At the beginning of this interview, I will say this on English. Namaskaram, namaste to Mochanĝi and Devi Mohan.
Yes.
For the first time here in our studio, but not for the first time in Macedonia. And I wish you a warm welcoming here in our community here.
Thank you
so
much.
At the beginning of this interview, I will put it this question: is interesting that if we make distinction, is there any reason that some of the geographic places around the world has a different vibration from each other? Is it true?
It is true.
It is true?
Every place has its flavor. Every place has its frequency. That makes that place different from the other. Even people, each person is his own frequency, and there's nobody like that. It may look similar, but not the same. So place has frequency, people have frequency, everything is frequency oriented. And a frequency, our frequency, if it matches with another frequency, we find it compatible. If that frequency does not match, we will have a conflict. That's what we see in the world always.
Devi, for you?
Yes, and I love the Balkan frequency. I've been abroad quite many years now, and only now, being away from the Balkans, I have realized what I was missing, and it's actually the heart. I don't find the heart that we have anywhere in the world, and I'm really say this honestly. So we just finished a retreat, and we had this beautiful experience, and for me, Macedonia specifically is mainly about the heart and the music, and people really bringing out that purest frequency of the heart through the music, through expression. So we had American guys singing Jovano Jovanke.
Seriously?
I love, you can see it on Facebook, I posted, it's just been really amazing. And yeah, we just had a wonderful time, and
This
it's
is
always
true
great.
because usually people say that you cannot compare with the Macedonian singers. We have also behind the scenes here.
Yes.
Одлично. Сега би продолжил на македонски. Humankind to kind humans, a spiritual path to global transformation. Моханџи би почнал секако на почеток, може ли да ни кажете повеќе за вашата мисија и што правите во светот, иако луѓето прилично денеска се многу добро запознаени со мисијата, со фондацијата, со креацијата која што ја создавате, со вашата траекторија лична, заедно сега со вашата сопруга Деви. Токму поради тоа што денеска имаме мал милион различни медиумски подкасти, канали на кои што може да додадеме секако и да се адресираме со вас. Меѓутоа, еве, за прв пат на Телма телевизија да ни кажете.
Yes. In one word, it's stability. I'm trying to bring more stability to the people. And how can you attain stability? We all have our nature, which is expressed as our character, our constitution, our likes and dislikes, our inclination, tendency, desire pattern. So our nature is expressed in various ways always, whether we like it or not.
Such a diversity.
It's such a diversity. 8 billion people have 8 billion nature. And that's what they came here for, taken a body and living the life to experience their own nature. So if you really, really connect to your own nature, you will be extremely stable. But that's not what happens in the world usually. We try to become somebody else. So we forget our nature, and then we connect to something which is not ours.
Put a new avatar.
A new avatar, new mask or something, and that's exactly the training we get. Be a doctor, be an engineer, be something. So my aim is to bring people down to the basics. Connect to your nature. Be stable. If you're stable, you're effective. When you're effective, you have a contentment. If you have contentment, you have a good life. So this is what I'm spreading in the world, teaching in the world, and probably that's why it's growing so fast. And another thing is that I do not sell concepts. I only sell reality. I tell reality. Because reality for you is you.
Because that you put in out, it's like in a positive way to make some awareness and spiritual awakening.
Absolutely.
Around the world.
It leads to spiritual awakening.
Yes.
See, first is that you have to be you. The moment you become somebody else, you're finished. Your individuality is gone.
So sometimes we become, for this digression, sometimes we become a people pleaser, maybe.
Well, that is an external expression, but internally we are comparing. See, the moment I start comparing myself with you, what about me? So nobody is comparable. Everybody are incomparable.
Unique.
All are unique. So this is the thing which I'm trying to instill in people's minds. It's you, you and you. And if you are just being you, you are very, very powerful. You are very effective. Yeah. People look at you with respect just because you are you. So that these fundamentals people have forgotten. Because the education system, the concept, the religion, they teach, don't be you, you have sins and you have this and that, and then be something else. And in the bargain, people are confused and they lose track and they don't enjoy life. I would like, even if you're living 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, we should experience and enjoy life. That's our birthright.
Би ве прашал на почеток, секако и Деви вас, секој од нас некако ги доживува тие своји животни циклуси на промена, на еволуција, на револуција собствена. Од моето собствено мора да признам, секој пат ми навираат солзи. На твоите 32-33 години ја доживав најголемата трансформација. Кога всушност се случува вистинскиот аха момент. Ме интересира ако може да ја споделите и вашата, и Моханџи вашата приказна, иако добро ги знаеме токму поради денешните документарци кои што ги гледаме за вас, кога беше вашиот вистински аларм на будење на свеста или како што универзално го знаеме како аха момент во животот прв кој што донесе да ја трнеме таа наша кожа на аватар?
Yeah, every crisis is an opportunity for transformation, and pain is a great teacher. You know, pain really helps you break through the mask of ego, and you become real. You know, you really feel life, and you have a chance to redefine your reality, and it really makes you so real that when I met Mоханџи in 2007, I was deeply touched by his story of how he lost his daughter. She was hit by a truck, and it's interesting, there's never a coincidence but divine synchronicity. Same year when he lost his daughter, I almost lost my life.
It was the first real wake-up call for you?
Yeah, well, not
the
first.
near-death experience, and after that?
For me, first was the refugee days, when I was 13, 14. Some call this the dark night of the soul. So what you had at the 33, I had at the age of 13, and I grew up at that time. I lost my childhood. I was no longer a teenager. I had to grow up. I had to face the life. So at that moment, I discovered the inner witness. We were just talking about this in the car today. You know, one of the core teachings of Mоханџи is like self-acceptance, and you feel these traits that you carry, the good and the bad, you know, which belongs to the ego, because that is the personality we project into the world, how we want to be presented. But deeper than that is the self, the real self. And to get deeper, you have to reach that higher dimension of consciousness, which is the inner witness. Indeed. So when I was a refugee, I had that moment when I was falling apart. I felt very bad about myself. I was a victim, you know. Everything was taken away from me, everything. And I felt that God, divine, betrayed me. That I was not loved by divine, because how could this God do this to me? So for me, education was something I could do even as a refugee, with no money and no food and no dignity. I could restore my dignity by studying hard, and I proved myself. And that's brought me to scholarships. I won like amazing scholarships, but I felt that manifestation came from that clear understanding, clarity. And that's what, when I saw Mоханџi's eyes for the first time, I saw that clarity, you know. So when you connect to yourself and you find that inner strength, it's always stronger than the fear and victimhood, and you know, you find that expression. So for me, education was the way out. Then my first job was United Nations, and I went through all these experiences, but the real transformation happened when I met Mochanџi and when I started walking the path of experiential spirituality.
2007.
Yeah, 2007.
Yeah. There were a few moments. First was the question when my daughter, below 5 years, she was 4.5 years, she died in a road accident. I was in my 30s. I was very deeply connected to her. Even before her death, I used to explore the possibilities of higher experiences, higher dimensions, but not so much in focus. But when she died, I asked one question: why did she die? Why couldn't I die? I've already done about 30 years, so I'm good to go. Why did she go? She didn't even start her life. So there was no answer. There was no answer. It's individualistic. But that brought me to a self-inquiry. What is this whole thing called life?
The purpose.
The purpose. Why this whole drama? Because I was reasonably successful in business. I've always been working in a shipping company, shipping business.
Is I know you have been surrounded by all materialistic.
Everything money can buy. Yeah, that was not a problem. And also I know that I can be successful. But it didn't give me happiness that way. Because if I don't get answers, if I don't get satisfaction, stability, I was not happy. So then the first trip to Himalayas happened in 2000, soon after my daughter's death. It was not because I was exploring something. It was only because I didn't want sympathies to paralyze me. When somebody dies, everybody comes and sympathizes with you. And eventually you lose all your momentum. And also the pain has to be re-experienced. Their intention is good. Their intention is to support you. But the effect is different. What we experience is more and more deeper and deeper into the sorrow. And one moment I got a message: connect your spine. Or in simply, catch your spine. 2-3 words. And usually great messages come in small pieces. It will not be there will not be a lot of explanation. It's up to you to explore and get into its core. I started feeling my spine because I had no guru, no guide. I didn't meditate before. So while I was sitting at one point in time, this thought came: what is the big deal about Mochanџi? Why Mochanџi? So that was kind of a dimensional distraction for me. The thing which I had built up over the years, this Mochanџi factor, meant nothing to me. It's gone. And then what? Nothing to hold on to, because we are holding on to one personality all these years, and we have given enough energy to it to make it grow. Then suddenly it's all broken to pieces.
You have no roots at all?
Nothing.
Nothing.
That was the great change. After that, I became unaffected. If somebody says you are good, okay, no problem. If somebody says you are bad, it's okay. And it was all gradual. And these things went on for many days and years. And it was not one day. Also, I did not know what silence felt like. See, today we talk about silence, mean no thought or nothing. That state I did not know. Nobody can tell you this. You have to experience. So it went on for many years, not years, actually months. And then I reached a state where every noise is far away from me. When I'm walking, there are cars going, whatever, but they're all away. I'm walking like in a bubble. So that feeling settled down over time. It initially started, I'm sitting and I'm connecting to my spine erect, and it was always early morning.
Што имате заедничко и покрај разликите во вашата позадина и потекло? Споминавте и двајцата, нели, за искуството различно, за вашата лична животна приказна, за тие циклуси кои што сте ги поминале, за причината за будењето ваше, кое што нели некако е мисија сега и за тоа да се случи како еден домино ефект кај луѓето. Меѓутоа, вистина, што е заедничкото? Тоа што вистина во 2007 беше сосема поинаков аха момент за вас двајца.
you know, I was getting more and more isolated from the world, and I didn't want the sounds, noises of the world. So when she appeared in my life, I was not looking for some connection or some relation, because I was kind of settling down in my own zone, and not as a teacher or a guide, but as an individual. Work was going on very well. I was the CEO of a company by that time, and I was having salary and all that. Plus, I was doing my practices, and I was in a comfort zone.
So basically, Mochanĝi, you have been without expectation,
no expectation
nothing at all.
Yeah, but if she did not come to my life, I will not be in public. So I think the major aspect, see, always it is not commonness. It's the additions which a relationship brings to your own potential or your constitution.
So Devi is a supporting role in this.
No, she actually brought me to the world, because we were living together for about 3 years, and then she said, what you're saying should be told to the world, and I always said, I'm not ready. Then she organized the first ever meditation. A meditation came to me. And the meditation came to me, and that meditation, I did not know what to do with it. So those days I used to have communions with various energies, higher energies, and they guided me to search. So they said, no, teach it outside. If you think and do, again you are holding your mind. Mind dissolves. The pillar holding the mind are thoughts. When thoughts are, if there are thoughts, there are desires, or there are impressions from the life. When all this is gone, thoughts are gone, there is no thought, empty, then the whole mind collapses. When mind collapses, it's a minimal mind. That mind cannot think or plan. Then whatever happens, it happens. Before, we are projecting a personality which we have nurtured over time. Once these situations happen, you can never project anything, because there is nothing to project. You're only reflecting. As things happen, a situation, a person, when they come in front, you are only reflecting. And you have no plan, no agenda. Just like a mirror.
Mirror reflection.
Similar, same. Just like a mirror, one person comes, the mirror reflects that person fully, honestly, consciously. And in another person comes, reflection changes. So I was in that kind of a mode, and then the meditation started. First time it was 40 people or something in Dubai.
No, first was in the apartment, around 10 of us.
Yeah.
Then after that, when he saw people's reaction, they were like, wow. Well, it was literally like a downpour of energy that came. The meditation is called Power of Purity. We have it now on Mochanĝi.org website, free of cost, in many languages.
All my meditations are free of cost, downloadable in our website, Mochanĝi.org.
But the effect it created, people were in awe. And then we started making it bigger, and it kind of spontaneously, organically happened, that it started to grow. And for me also, I just wanted to say that when I met Mochanĝi, you know, I had these experiences that were very deep, personal, mystical. And when he spoke about this 360-degree awareness, that's exactly what I experienced when my soul left the body. I still remember very vividly how it felt. The moment soul comes out of the body, we don't see like front now. We feel everything in 360 degrees, and we expand. Because nature of love is to expand. When we feel love, our heart opens, right? Yes. Now, if you imagine a circle and there's a dot in the middle, if you ground yourself in that dot, no matter how fast the circle spins, like no matter what the chaos is around you, you are in that center. Yes. And to get into that center, if you breathe vertically up and down your spine, with time you feel yourself in that center, and you witness what's happening around, and you start developing that very pleasant, calm awareness. And then your eyes shine, and then you have a different way of feeling people. So your whole life changes.
Way of bliss.
Yeah.
In that moment. Уште неколку прашања ќе се обидеме сега во рамки на времето. Моханџи, Деви, и двајцата неуморно работите конкретно на подигнување на свеста. Еве, кој би бил првиот линк, накусок, колку што може да кажете, да го симплифицираме ширум светот, за да ги инспирираме сите да живеат посвесно и во заедништво?
It's self-connection, connection with yourself. life is simply a marriage between the gross and the subtle, mean the physical and the metaphysical. Physical is body, mind, intellect, and ego. Ego is not the ego which is like arrogance or pride. Ego means something which holds your personality. Three things: relations, position, and possession. What holds that thing is called ego. That is a simple thing which is like a catalyst or something which keeps this. So this is part of our daily existence. The physical body, it has its requirement like the vehicle. Then the mind, which is a processor, which is processing emotions. Intellect processes informations. And ego processes everything that we think as ours. Position, possession, relations. What energizes all these? The energy inside. There's a moving energy and a source aspect. We can call it spirit and the soul, or energy, simply. So this identification is the number one identification. Second identification, everybody is the same. There's no difference. Because each person is their own world,
Yes.
their own understanding, their own ideas, their own relevance, their own universe. So how they see the world, only as they are. See, you cannot see the world like I see, and you should not. So that acceptance is very important. Then only there will be respect. So I respect you as you. So these are the core fundamental messages I give, so that nowhere in the universities or classes they teach self-connection. They are always connecting to something external.
Outside.
So the imbalance is broadening as they grow up. A small child is fully self-connected. If you look at a 3-year-old, see the level of concentration it has with anything. How we were when we were small. When we get a toy, we are fully with the toy.
Yes.
There's no other world for us.
Меѓутоа, само за крај, како да се постигне равнотежа, Моханџи, Деви, помеѓу духовните учења, хуманитарната работа која што е некако ваша специјалност, во ваша ДНК, и како да ја направиме оваа алатка и пристап многу по-безбедна и ефикасна за овој модерен свет и особено кај младите? Тоа нека биде моето последно прашање за вас двајца.
Because we are everything. We are multidimensional.
Yes.
Even a one person is a father probably, a son probably, an employer or employee, or a pedestrian or a businessman. Everybody is something you collected, collective, not just one thing. Everything is everybody is a universe. So when you are focusing on one thing, just focus on that thing. When you focus on another, just focus on that. Don't try to spread your mind on many things. Then you will have more satisfaction from that. Because when you look, if the mind is not there, you don't see. Our whole faculty is built in such a way. There is a great music going on. Your ears are getting the vibration, the sound. But if your mind is elsewhere, you won't listen. When you look, if your eyes are not there, you don't see. When the great fragrance is happening, if your mind is not with your nose, you wouldn't know. Like you're eating. Most times you are watching a show and eating. We wouldn't know what we ate. And later we realize, oh, I ate too much. So human life is like that. Now, what is selfless service for? Simply purification. It purifies you. Devi is the head of ACT Foundation in 31 countries. We have now just launched World Tribal Alliance. We are uniting the indigenous people of the world. So I was in South Africa 2 weeks ago. Most probably next year we'll have a huge Tribal Alliance conference in a stadium coming up. That is for protecting the forest. So when I was discussing with the minister, he asked me, Mochanĝi, what is this for? I said one word: preservation. Who can preserve the forest better than the tribes? Who understands forest better than the tribal people?
Indeed.
I said, you support them, they support the forest, the world gets more oxygen. I said, this is exactly what, and the government is supporting us. So like that, I'm working on different things to give a direct impact into the world. As I said, I'm not focusing on emotions or different things. I'm focusing on something practical where it can give a direct impact, positive impact in the world, and across caste, country, culture, color, religion, language, they are all immaterial. What is important? Human being. As a human being, how we are, that matters. Humanity matters, because there's no difference between you and I. We were probably born in different places, so what? We are one, and we are all responsible. We have to do something for the world.
I would just like to add about Macedonia. We have a wonderful team of ACT Foundation, ACT Macedonia.
ACT Macedonia.
So you can see, even in your own city, Skopje, you can see the impact, the message, everything we talk about. We aim to serve with our own example, not just talk. There is a lot of followers here. But ACT is about action. And I have seen a huge transformation in people's lives just by just doing selfless service. So one thing I didn't know, what I learned from Mоханџи, is that actually when you do something selflessly without expecting anything back, that purifies that central axis, as you mentioned which before. Is your stairway to heaven. For you to have high spiritual experiences, that pathway needs to be pure, and your heart should open. And so this is that's why all religions propagate selfless service. But in ACT Foundation, we also aim to bring out that teamwork spirit and people's connection. So we have meditations in Skopje, we have ACT, and overall so many stories of personal transformation through service. I've personally met, like there's one lady, I can give an example, she has been abused, you know, sexually also, and she couldn't come out of it. And we have some healing methodologies, we have powerful meditations and all that, but only when she combined the spiritual inner work with humanitarian work, when then she came out of the victim. And unfortunately in the Balkans we have a lot of people who get caught in victimhood. So I would
domestic
recommend
violence also.
When you start serving, when you start serving, you just come out of that. You see somebody who is worse than you, and that the moment you enter the energy of giving, the frequency of giving, you realize how much you have.
Yes, it's an epitome of blissfulness. It's an epitome of blissfulness.
One point I would like to add is, we are not alone in this world as human beings. We are only one species. There's so many species on Earth. And somehow we have separated ourselves from the other species. So like in our places, we have centers in 12 countries now. And we have activity in 90 countries, 90. So, and registered in 19 countries, 19. So before we eat food, we give food to, same food. Same food means good quality food to every being around our house. This is a habit which I have cultivated, and a lot of people are following. So that birds, animals in the nature, fishes in the nature, in the ponds or the sea, everybody is fed, not like a lot, whatever is possible, so that you feel a great contentment and a responsibility to the nature. Every child should learn this.
Namaskaram. Thank you very much for this experience. I know that we will continue this conversation. I wish you to embrace the diversity as you all do with your foundation and humanitarian job. Mоханџи, Devi, this was a life-changing moment for me. So thank you very much, guys, for bringing the diversity here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.